Let me stop presenting so I can present it properly. All right. So the reason I'm splitting my screen is so that I can kick out unserious people. So if you're here just to fill up space, by the time I call your name and you're not responding, I'll just kick you out from the call. All right. So let's get started. First thing first. Okay, side by side. Okay. So first thing first. Let's add this basic depth digital branding at the top. So who have any idea how I can add that at the top? Mine is showing documents. So how can I change it to this basic depth over here?
You change the title tag. You change it to whatever you want.
All right, very good. So we have a title over here. Yeah, very good. So we have this title over here, and this title over here basically controls what we add to the top over here. So you can see for now we have documents here, and that's what we're having over here. So let's change this to basic slash DET. Okay, and then there's a weird branding arrow over there. We'll come back to that. And then we now have the digital branding. Let's save that. And you can see we have it over here, right? Just like this over here. Okay. So the next thing, how do we get that arrow? Um, so now I want to add this arrow here, but I have no idea how to add it. So this is my thought process when I'm basically working on the project, how I just search my problems and stuff like that. So now I want to add, as you can see, I don't know if this is clear, probably a bit tiny to you guys, but this is small R over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a small circular R here. Can you see it? Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is my thought process basically. I'll just come here and say circular or maybe R with a circle. Okay, around it. Circle around it. Then I just add HTML here. So let me see. What is HTML code should register to? Okay, so somebody is saying uh, this is how it's done. So I'll copy this. Let's see if that works. And I'll paste it here first so it will be a little bit clearer for us. And look at that, we have our circular arm. I don't know. So I'll zoom out later. But can you see we have our circular arrow over here? So basically, with this, we can get our circular uh, R. And basically, what this is called in HTML is something called HTML entities. Okay, so this is what it's called HTML entities. So, for example, if I want a less than sign, this is how it's done. All entities basically starts with an ampersand and ends with a semicolon over here, right? So this is the sign for less than, this is the sign for greater than. We have some other symbols here, like the ampersand symbol. This is it. You want a double quotation, cent, euro, yen, pound, and the rest. So this is how they are. This is how to get all of them. So this is called HTML entity. Any questions so far? All right, I'm gonna take that as no question. So let's take this up to site. So and I'll save that. Beautiful. So the top is looking the same. But they have this small icon to the far left over here. Does anybody know how to add that icon? Won't be adding it for us, but does anybody know how to add it? If you were to go about adding something like that on your site.
So which icon?
Look at this. small black icon. But I don't, I can't, I don't know how to show this better. But look at it over here. Can you see it?
Okay, I think we'll use probably maybe a bootstrap icon tag or font awesome
Okay.
icon
Okay.
tag.
All right. Any other person have any other idea? Anybody else? Nobody? Okay, so basically what this is called is something called a fave icon, right? So there's something called a fave icon in HTML. And what it does basically is to add this small icon up here in the title bar. So like this is a fave icon, and this is how it is added. But for this project, we'll be adding it. Just go straight to the main part. Okay, so let me increase this a bit. And we have this. I think this is an icon. Expect. Okay, this is an S over here. So all of this is an S. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy. I think outline HTML, I guess, and let's come back. I'll create a folder. I'll create a folder called assets. Okay, so let's create a folder called asset. This way we're going to store things like our icon, these videos, images and stuff like that. That's what we're going to store in here. So for the first one, we're going to call this, I'm going to say basic.svg. All right, so I can paste the SVG here. It's a very long file, very, very long file. So let me try and see how I do it. Wow. Let me see what parts. These starting parts. All right, so that looks better. So this is basically an SVG. It's used to create icons and stuff like that. So I'll save that there, and let's start at the very top. So over here we have the header. So it contains an icon and some links over here, some navigation links. This one takes us to work and the rest. Then we have this is like a more icon or a menu icon. So let's start. So I'll come over to my index.html. I'm going to clean my div out. Again, if there's anything I'm doing that you don't understand, call my attention to it. Don't let us go too far before you call my attention to it. All right, so let's start. I'm going to use a header tag over here. Yeah, also. Yeah, basically, we are going to use things like videos, things like uh, pictures, icons. Yeah, so I'll be copying from the site and I'll be pasting it under here. So let's just group them together so it won't be scattered all over the place. No, no, no. This SVG, I actually inspected the site over here. This is the icon. And over here, you can see this is the SVG over here. Can you see that? So what I did was I just right clicked and I came over to copy and I just copied the elements. So that's what I went to paste there. I didn't write this out. All right. Yeah, copy element. Okay, so we have icon over here. So I'm just gonna write. Maybe I'll just write a div here for now, and I'll just say icon. So we know that the icon moves there. So over here we now have the nav uh, elements because all of these are actually navigational links. So semantically, it makes sense to put them in uh, a nav element. So also, since this is what I like to do is this is kind of like listed out. They're kind of like a list of the navigational links, right? It's kind of like a list of navigational links. Do you get what I'm saying? So we have work, about, news. These are all links, navigational links. So they are like a list of them. Do you get what I'm saying? Um. Okay. So I think at this point, this is what we do the whole check to see who's around and who's not. So once you hear your name, you signify your year. If you're not, I'll kick you out of the call. Okay, so we're gonna start with the first person on my list, Akin Yemi. Are you on the call?
I'm here.
All right. Chinonso Daniels, are you on the call? Chinonso, I can't hear you. Are you on the call? Okay. Since you're having a problem with your mic, try and get it fixed because we'll be going back and forth trying to look for solutions. Okay, Bakari Habib, I think that's the pronunciation. Are you on the call? Bakari Habib, are you on the call? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no and remove. Now, Bashi Bash, are you on the call? Okay, I'm gonna also take that as. Oh yeah, okay, okay. So we have Chinoye Iana Cho, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm on the call. Can you hear me?
All right. Goodness Opara, are you on the call? Okay. How about Goodness Note Taker? Goodness Note Taker, are you on the call?
Yes,
Okay.
recording the class.
Okay. Mr. Israel, how about you? You on the call? Just keep this thing pushing so we can get back to coding. Israel, are you on
Yeah,
the
sure.
call? All
I'm
right,
here. I'm
Jane.
here.
Miss Jane, are you with us?
Yes.
All right, Mr. John
Yes, I
Ariola, are you
am.
with us? Yeah, no problem. Mr. John, are you with us?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Josephine is with us. How about Kenneth? Kenneth, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, nice one. Mr. Kosi Sochuku Emmanuel, are you on the call? Okay, that's a no. All right, Mary Samuel, are you on the call?
I'm here.
All right, Miss Ngozi, are you on the call?
I'm here.
Okay, Oluwatoyin is here. Oguso is here. Mr. Samuel, are you on the call? All right, and finally, Hey Glory, you're on the call, right? Are you here? Okay, you unmuted your mic, so I'm gonna assume you're here. Probably you're having a mic issue, I guess. So, all right, let's go back to coding, and this is how we regularly do checks to see to kick out on serious people. There's no need for you to be here and just put your phone, just put us on the background, so you'll join us while we code. All right, so like I said, so this is a navigation. These are all navigational links, and it's a list of links. So what I do like to do is put them in a nav bar, but also put them in a list format, right? So I'm gonna put on ordered list, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links. So 6 links. All right, and the first one is call work. Second one is about have you thinking areas and contact. and finally contact. All right, and let's also get this icon from them. Okay, it's also an SVG. So just come over here and I'll copy that element. So back to our asset here, I'm gonna add the menu dot SVG. That's small caps. Okay, so let's see what we've done so far. All right, we have our icon here. We have our list here. Okay, so let's add those icons before we get to styling part. Okay, so over here we have a div icon. So I'm going to change that to John is asking, what are we building? That's why I say come on time, so I won't have to confuse myself. Okay, so over here we have another image, and that is under assets slash menu.svg. So look at that. We have the first icon over here, and we have second icon over here. Mr. John, what we're basically doing is we are trying to recreate this site because it has some nice features. So we are trying to recreate some of this. Probably time won't be on our side, but let's see what we can for our time. So this is what we have recreated basically this site. It is pinned in the comment section, so you can go check out the site and see some of its cool features. All right, so I think that's all for now for the header. So let's start styling the header. I want to look out for something. Okay, so the text are all black. Okay, the text are all black, and oh, okay. What's going on right now is the text here is white, and for some reason, if you scroll down and try to scroll back up, it's gonna turn to black. Okay, we'll work on that later. But for now, let's just keep text as white. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to style.css and I'm just gonna target the header here, and I'm gonna give it a how do I change the color here? Okay, let's leave the SVG for now. How about all these colors here? How do I change the colors to be white? What do I do to get that to work? I'm thinking I should change the background color to white.
No, no background color. Color.
All right, very good. So that's the difference between color and background color. When you're trying to change something like a text, for example, use color. And when you're trying to change maybe a color of a div or something, that's when you use a background color. So let's save this and let's keep this side by side. Okay, so for some reason my color is not working. Is there did we make any mistake?
Have you linked it?
All right, very good. So the first problem is we didn't link our CSS. So over here, I'm going to link the CSS, and I think that should work straight away. So style.css works, and as you can see, it kind of disappears or something. So I'm thinking what I should do is I should probably include this video here. Okay, no, well, let me let's expect this. Get, get. Well, okay, so we have a video here and we have a link here. So let me just copy the link and paste it out here to show it. So okay, but just took lights. Hold on, let me switch. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So I originally thought that this is where is that link? I thought it was just a link, but Okay, let's just copy the link and we'll test it with the link, and then if it doesn't work, then we'll test it with the downloaded file. Okay, let me keep this to the side, and I'll probably okay. I can't keep it to the side because the behavior is different, so I have to keep it increased like this. Okay, so let's try and add the video. But what I'm thinking of doing right now is, if you look at this, the video also I don't know if you can see the video goes through the header. Can you see that? So I'm thinking
Hi,
that
sorry, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the screen we can see is W3 schools. I don't know if you're sharing something different.
W3 schools.
Yes.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Oh no, no, hold on. I've been switching tabs on the browser, so I don't know. I think it's hanging for some reason. But let me try again. Let me share my entire screen. Let's see if that will work. This works, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back. This is what I was saying. I'm saying that if you look at this video, the video kind of like goes through this header. Do you see that? The video kind of
Yes, yes, yes.
okay. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of modifying my HTML to okay. What I'm thinking is it should have like a section like this, right? And this section should have a header in it, and it should also have like a video element here. So just write a video element here. And this link is what I actually copied from the site. So let's save it and see if all right.
I'll go. I'll go.
Can you mute your mic, please? Okay, so we have a lot of problems here to unpack. We have our image here, we have everything here, everything is just going to shit, but there's no problem. Let's start working on it. So first thing we should work on is basically reducing the size of this SVG. So I'm going to come over here to the CSS. So this is header. Okay. So I'm going to do is I'm going to target the header, right? And I'm going to say all the image in the header. I want them to have, I'm going to go with a width of, let's just go with 30 pixels for now to see what we get. Okay. So this is reduced. Um, Let me do some things before we actually start. So I'm going to do this. So, what am I thinking of? What's that stuff called?
Sorry, I think I'm noticing something.
Yeah.
This basic slash DEPT.
Yeah.
That arrow is supposed to be on top and
Um, the R, this one we are using.
okay,
The
okay,
R
okay,
for this one is actually down. It is the R for this one that's up.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's actually okay for now.
Mm.
Okay, so I've set my margin to 0. Let me set my padding to 0. Um, Hold on, let me check. This is 640, so let me just break my fast. I'll be with you guys in a minute.
All right. Can we join you? I don't get the question.
Yeah,
Okay, like okay,
yeah.
the
Well,
greater than Abi. This one just saying like image is a direct child of the header. I think that's yeah. If there is no arrow, I think it will pick every image that is inside the header. It will pick like a direct child of an image that is a direct child of the header. Can anyone confirm? I'm not very sure.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
John.
So like if you have nested images, this one will not like pick it. Like if you have like div image inside a div inside the other, so this won't pick those images.
No. Okay, so I'm back. So let's continue. Okay, so I was adding some stuff here. So I'll add a box sizing of border box. So I think that's good for now. If I remember any other thing to add, I'm gonna add it. Okay, there's the other one. We'll set body to a mean height of 100 VH. All right, so now let's continue. So we have this, right? We have this. So let's see if that, okay, that doesn't really look as it should. So let's probably increase the width a bit. So width, I'm gonna go with 60. Okay, I think that looks better, right?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay, now how do we change the color? How do we change the color
Which color?
of this basic depth? Basically, as you can see, it's black. Over here is white. So how do we change the color? This is how it was implemented. We have the image over here. We have the SVG from here. So how do we change the color? Any idea? Just throw your idea to me, and I'm gonna test it.
Color white.
Okay, so we have our first idea, color white. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna say color white. Let's save that and see. Oof, that didn't work.
Background color white.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, so what you're suggesting is
Like in
we
this
go
video
to
file,
our
right?
main SVG to go and change that, right?
Go inside
Yeah.
SB and
All right
change
then.
it.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna go to my SVG and I'm gonna change it. So let's go to SVG. This is the basic SVG. So where do I change it? Is it at the SVG or at the part?
Keep scrolling. Let's see.
It
We
has
have.
a color. It has a color property.
Are you sure it is a color property? Okay, no, fine.
Yes.
Let's see. So I'm gonna go with color and look at that.
Not
There's nothing.
No,
There's no
no,
color
no,
here.
no.
no.
Like if there's a color
That's
property in the SVG link.
Okay, I should check the main SVG link.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see,
Yes.
there's no color property here. And this is the part here. So I'm gonna start moving my slider. So look at the part for any color. You're gonna see that it's all numbers. There's nothing like color property here. Have you seen it? There's no color property here, I believe. So how do we change it?
Okay. Is there a way they can target that particular image and then make it white?
I'm sorry, you said what?
If there's a way they can target that particular image and then make it white in the CSS.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But you're almost there. You're almost there in a way. We have opened it, and you're right. We can change something here to have that color of white. But what is it? Where should I change it? What should I add?
I think
Okay,
the field
please go
property.
again.
Okay, I'm not particularly sure on which
Okay,
one, if it's on the SVG or the part, but I know there's a field property. Then you can
very
maybe
good.
use some hex codes
So
to change it.
where should I keep the field? Should it be at the SVG or part?
Let's try
Right.
the SVG for a start.
All right. So field, as you can see, that's recommended. Yeah. So the color for white, if I am correct, should be triple F. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So let's see if that works, and that works. Yeah. But before we actually continue with this, I want to check something out first. I'm thinking, what if we use a background color? Do you think that's gonna work? I
Just
have no
change back.
idea. Let's see. Okay, so that does not work. Secondly, can we try using fill from here? Would that work? There's a reason I'm experimenting with this, and the reason I'm experimenting with this is this. Let's go back to this basic depth now. Now you can see the color is white here, right? But now look at something. When we scroll down and try to scroll back up, look at the color is now black. How are we gonna change it if we're using SVG like this? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
okay, you have an idea?
Like instead of importing it as an image,
Image,
why not have the SVG in
yeah,
the HTML?
very good. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking we should cut this out and change this to this, since we'll be changing. I mean, it does make our HTML look kind of ugly, but there is no problem. It solves a particular issue that we'll be facing in the future. So I think this actually makes more sense. Um okay, so the same thing goes for this image here. So I'll be changing this to basic SVG. What's the other one called? Okay, many SVG. Okay, so I just copied this, come over here, and after the nav here, so we paste this. Oof, what the hell did I do? And we paste this here. All right, so let me close this, whatever. So now I can come back to our style, and instead of using image here, I can target the SVG directly, and everything works.
Oh
Ah,
yeah.
shit! I wasn't supposed to add this yet. You were supposed to guess this till it works. Um. So if we use color, it doesn't work. So we have to use fill. So with this now, we can easily change the fill property whenever we want to, do whatever, blah 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 blah. But for now, let's just keep it at black, so we can actually see what we are doing. So let's just leave it at black. And this color, yeah, let me still change it to black. So let's see our links for now. And maybe when we are done, we will change it to white. Okay, so let's go to the next step. So for now, there's a lot of problems happening here, such as our sizes. But let's put a pin on that, and we'll come back to that later. Now, do we keep all of them straight like this? Ours is vertically straight. How do we make it horizontal? Who have any idea?
Flex.
Flex. All right, very good. So let me see. If you don't know what flex is, can I see your hands? Let me know if I'm gonna explain this a bit more, or if we are okay with flex. All right, then I'm gonna assume we are okay with flex. So yeah, that's how we. There's a problem. Okay, Imole raised this hand up. So basically, flex is a property that lets us style our code. Probably if we want to do it horizontally or vertically, whatever way, flex can help us style it. So let me just quickly show you what it does. Now look at the HTML. Where should I add the flex property? Where should I add the flex property?
On the other.
Header. Are you sure? Should it be the header?
Yeah, heard
Why
that.
not the section?
First
Why
of
header?
all,
The
Why not the
section
section?
of
Okay,
we need
so
the items in the header to be horizontal, right?
yeah, okay. So now if we are to add the flex on the section, it's gonna affect our video. And that's not what we
Yeah.
are looking for. We're just looking for just the header. That's why we're going to add the flex to just the header. So I'm going to come over here to the header. I'm going to add a display. This is how you add it. You just do a display flex. And if we save that, let's see this in real time. Okay, let me change this. So let me remove the flex. So this is how it looks without flex. And if I save this, you can see it now looks, although it doesn't really look like it, but this is actually aligned horizontally instead of vertically. And now, if you look at this, let's go and open our header. Again, this is for those that don't know, don't really know about flex. So let's open our header and look at all the elements inside the header. We have SVG here. So this is the first element. We have our nav, there's the second element. And thirdly, we now have our last XVG, which is the menu icon here. So once you say display flex, the first thing it does is it keeps all of them at a straight line, horizontally. So we have basic and depth here, which is the first SVG. We have the whole of nav, which is here. And thirdly, we now have our SVG, which is here. Okay, so that's okay for now. Let's continue. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is, what? I think we should actually go back and let's be sure we are done with our SVG sizing before we proceed. Okay, so about this basic depth, are we okay? I think ours is a little bit bigger. Let me keep it like this just for comparison's sake. I think ours looks a little bit bigger, right? So let's take it down a notch.
Slightly bigger.
Slightly. So where is it? So here was 60. I'm gonna change this to maybe 55. I think that looks nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so 55 pixels actually looks nice. Okay. All right, now let's proceed. So let's do the menu next. So we'll come over to the okay. So the sizing for this width here is, although it's the same 55 pixels here, but it's actually too big for this menu. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to target the menu differently and target this differently. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come over here to the SVG, start SVG over here, and I'm going to give it a class of I'm gonna see, this is like a home icon, I guess. Well, let me just say basic since that's the name. And over here, I'll give this one a class of menu. So back here, I will style, okay, all the SVGs is gonna use this fill. So I can leave that here, but this width do changes from SVG to SVG. So that's what I'm gonna cut out. So we're gonna target dot basic, which I assume everybody knows why I'm using dot. And I'm gonna add a dot menu. And we're gonna also add a width for this. And I'll use 30 pixels for now. Let's save that. Okay, so this looks a little bit smaller, but not quite there. So let's go with 10 to see how that looks. Maybe I should keep my code down here. Okay, that's shaping up to look nicely. But let's leave it at that. We'll come back to it if that doesn't work. So now let's continue with the next step. Basically, this list over here. Let's change it. Let's make it horizontal. So let's see what we're going to target. It's inside the nav and it's inside this UL. So basically, I should target the UL. So let's target the UL. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to say nav UL. And I'm going to give it a display flex too. Oh, okay, I removed that earlier. Okay. So this is it here. So adding a display flex keeps everything on a horizontal line. Now let's fix some stuff. So let's remove these dots. How do we remove these circular dots? Let me comment this out so you can see what I'm talking about. These circular dots here. How do we remove it?
List none.
All right. So for those of you that don't know what this dot is, now in HTML, there are, I think, 3 types of list in CSS. This is called the unordered list. So a list that does not have an order. So that's why it's represented by dots. You can represent it with whatever it is you want. And then there's a second type, which is called the the OL rather. So this one is the ordered list and it is represented by numbers, as you can see here. So when you use the unordered list, it gives you this, this dot and stuff like that. All right, so somebody said list style type none. So if we save that, you see that we don't have that circle anymore. So that's a step in the right direction, and we can bring back our flex. All right, so everything is looking nice right now. Everything is looking pretty good, but we have a small problem with our fonts. So let's try and work on our fonts a bit. I think over here I can work with my fonts straight here, so I can go with font size. Um, Let me just go with 0.5 rem. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
For the list style type, like why
Yeah.
not set it globally on every UL?
Okay. Let's
I'm
see. Am
thinking
I
like
gonna have?
maybe
Um.
there's a few thousand where we might
Okay, we'll
be
probably have
using
some here, right?
that.
Okay. Okay. So instead of setting it, so what he's saying is, um, now as you can see, I've set my URL here, list style type, none, blah 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 blah. But the problem is, if I come down here, for example, and I create like as you can see, this is a list of social links, and this is also a link of initiatives. I'm also going to put this in a list, and I will be forced to also go and set this style list style type none again for that one down there. So what he's suggesting is instead of us repeating ourselves, what if we just say all UL, I don't want you to have list style type. So we just set it once and it affects all the UL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that approach. So I'm going to cut that out and let's keep it up here. So I'm going to say all UL will have a list style type of none. Okay. So we don't have to bother about it down there. Okay, so let's work on the font size next. This is really small, so let's see. I'm gonna go with a point. Let's go with a 0.2 rem. Oof, way too small. 0.3. A 0.4. Okay. No, I think it's somewhere between 3 and 4. Let's go with 3.5. Let's leave it at this for now, and we'll come back to it. I think this also looks bolded, right? I think it's probably the same. Okay, it looks okay. We'll come back to that. All right, now we have everything on a straight line, but there's the thing about flex. Flex don't take the whole space. It just takes only the space it needs, and this is only the space it needs to, display this. So if we want it to take of the full size like this, anybody have any idea how we can go about that? For it to take the full width. Anybody have any idea? Okay, so over here at the header here, I should say justify content. I should do what should I do next? Space.
Space
Okay,
between.
so we have space between here. So let's save that and see what we get. All right, so we actually kind of get some. We actually gonna get something nice. We have this space. We have this space, and then we have this at the ending. But if we look at this over here, it has some sort of space to the left, some sort of space to the left. So is there a way we can put that in? Is there something we can do to make that work? Any idea? How we can add that space?
Yeah, what?
Let's
Yeah,
try
This
what?
space around.
okay, somebody says space
Nice place
around.
around. Yeah.
Okay, we've added space around and we basically have this. Mm, is it better? Is it?
Not really.
Okay, you know what? Let's actually add space to this inner
Look at
one.
us.
Let's add space to this inner one and then we'll come back to the general one. So okay, so how do I add space to this inner one? That's this nav ul. What do I do? Any
You
ideas?
still
Gap.
just like
Maybe gap of 1 rem.
Okay, we have different ideas flowing in. Somebody says margin left, another person says gap. So let's do the both of them and then we'll finally decide on one. Okay, so I'm gonna go with gap first. So gap of 1 rem, and I will save that. And we have our gaps. Yeah. Okay. So now let's go use margin left, and then we'll see, and then we'll finally settle on one. So I'm going to go with the margin left of 1 rem instead, and I'm going to comment out the gap. Okay. There's a problem here. Do you see why? Did it work? Let's start there first. This margin left 1 rem, did it work?
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't
It
work.
it
You
it
sure?
did, but it did not give enough of space.
The
Very good.
LI.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so to actually get margin left is actually working, but it's working on this outer UL. So basically, we have an extra 1 rem margin to the left side here. So to actually get the margin left to work for all the lists, we have to actually target each of the lists inside the UL. But that is not ideal. What's better is this gap property, because gap is actually a property meant for it actually works with flex. It understands flex and knows that when I say gap 1 rem, I mean go into the flex children and add a gap to them. So it understands that. So we have gap 1 rem. This is what we'll be going with. Okay, so let's stop here for now and come back here. Should we work on the spacing? Obviously, we're not going to get the same font because they're probably using a different font than ours. So we won't really bother ourselves with the font. Obviously, there are ways to get the fonts, but we won't bother with that. Huh?
I say let's bother.
Let's bother. All right, your tomorrow class, you can do that. Okay, so let's continue with this. So let's see, we have this space all around for now. What do we do next? Something is out here. So this space, we have this space, we have this space. Okay, so I think the first problem is the spacing at the end in here is a bit too much in ours. Ours a bit too much, right? Or am I tripping?
Instead of the just around, why not use space between and then a padding? Since we have padding at the top and at the bottom too.
All right, so we have another idea, and the person is saying that instead of using, okay, let me just get straight to it. The person is saying instead of using what was it? I think this is it. Instead of using space around here, we should just use space between, so we still have our space. Okay, but instead of using space around, we should actually use a padding. So I'm going to use a padding, and I'm just going to say padding of 1 rem. Let's save this. Okay, so this is a padding of 1 rem. Is that looking close? Is that looking a little bit better?
And
What are we saying? What are we saying? Where are we?
Try to say something.
Okay.
This margin left and right, I think it's going to be
Margin. I'm not using margin.
Yeah.
I'm using a padding.
Yeah, I know you're using a padding.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to say this space at the body start and the end. I think it's supposed to be uniform throughout the page.
Okay. Let's see.
So is there a way? Yeah.
Let's scroll down. So it's kind of like somewhere here. So if I scroll down here, so this is different, but down here is kind of uniform with this. Okay, I get where you're coming from now. Let's see. Or is it the same though? Most likely, right?
The left side seems the same, but the right is different in other
The
places.
Yeah,
right is
that
kind of
this
different, right?
one, this
Okay,
is
so it looks like throughout the page we're having a consistent padding here. So probably okay. First of all, do we agree with the padding of 1 rem? Is that an okay padding? Is that an okay padding? The padding of 1 rem, is that okay?
yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so that's okay. One
Yeah.
problem down. Okay, basically we can even see it with this, and yeah, you're right. The spacing are the same. Probably not the same for the right side, but the left side is the same. Okay, so what do you think we can do? Should I add a padding to every single session?
I
To every
feel we
single
should
section?
create a class for that.
Create
Just
Okay,
a
an L
class.
class.
okay, a utility class. Okay, and I should just put
City studies
just
world.
padding left one, and then we can add the class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a better way, like a way that we can just do it one place so it
Sorry,
affects
okay.
everybody?
Can
Yeah.
you hear me,
Also,
Rajah? Sorry.
yeah. Can you?
I think the only few people talking. Every other person is quiet.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we have to
yeah.
do that cleansing again just to be sure we have the right people here. So again, once I just get to your name, you just unmute your mic, you just say something like present or something. So let's do this quickly. Bashi Bash, you still with us? I think I should start calling people when we are talking, discussing.
Yes.
Bashi Bash, that's great. I've never heard your voice before. You've not been
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about. You should actually engage.
I did break my fast. I did job.
Can you imagine? You dey break fast. Me, I drink only water, break my fast. All right. So Daniels, almost like I should
I'm
pause this thing
here.
and go and eat. It's my fast is taking a toll on me. Chinoye, how about you? You're with us.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so we skip Edward, we skip Ibuka. Fortune, I kind of know Fortune, so let me skip him. Yeah, my guy, I can skip. Goodness is my person. Skip. Imole, let's mute you. Wait, where's the mute button?
I'm here.
Okay, no problem. Nice. Israel, you're with us, I assume.
I'm
Israel,
here.
you're not with us. Yeah, Jane, you're with us. No problem. Israel, how about you? Okay, I think he left.
No, no.
Damn it. John, how about you? Are you with us? All right. Josephine, you're with us. Okay, Kenneth, how about you?
I'm here, please. I'm here.
All right, Mary, you're with us.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, Ngozi, how about you?
I'm here.
All right, Oluwatoyin is here. I know that. Ovuzo is here. Sam the Wonder, are you with us?
I'm here.
All right, Samuel Adekoya, are you with us? Okay, I'm gonna assume you're with us because you unmuted your mic. So what Ebuka is saying is that only some people are answering. So what I'm gonna be doing is probably if there's something I want to fix, something I want to add or something like that, I'll just ask somebody to unmute, and we'll probably go through it together and see how we can solve it. The reason I'm kind of going a little bit fast is because the main section I was hoping we get into is actually let's finish the whole first part. This whole top, the whole header here is actually not a big deal, but this is the main part we want to finish. And after this, we can go to some other interesting aspects. But maybe I'll start slowing down a bit and maybe we start doing it one by one so people understand or something. Okay, I just noticed something right now. Okay, no, let me just let's forget about it. We'll get back to it. But I'm feeling that we'll probably not use padding for the top and the bottom. But I'll tell you my reasoning why later. Okay, so let's go back to this. So I think this looks slightly okay, not that okay. Okay, so okay, back to what we are doing earlier, something about a utility class. So I'm gonna create a utility class just up here, and I'm gonna do it like tailwind. So we're gonna have p-1, which will basically mean okay, it will be pl-1, which basically means padding left of 1 rem, right? Okay, so instead of adding a where is the other part? Yeah, okay, this instead of adding a padding here, we can come over to the header over here. I can give it a class of pl-1. So that's padding left 1 rem. And so we have our padding left here. So with this, we can easily add it to whatever section. Should I add it to the section? Okay, I can't add it to the section because it will affect the video. So adding it to the header is best. All right, so we'll leave it like this. So, okay, so how about the top and bottom? We can use a padding for that, right? Or should I use a height?
In padding will work.
Okay, so we can use a padding block for this, and I can still give it a padding of 1 rem. So padding block is just basically padding top and bottom. So we now have that 1 rem. Okay, so we'll put a pin on this. We'll come back later. Let's just move on from the header section for now. So now let's go to the second problem. That's this video here. First thing first, let's try and make the video. The video is very, very wide, as you can see. Look at this, very, very, very wide. So let's try and make the video to be like this. Let it be contained in our screen. So how do we go about that? Somebody speak up. Tell me your mind. How do we get that to work? Here's the code for the video. Somebody is saying I should specify width. Okay, so should I specify width straight up here, or do you want me to like add a class or something? Should I use a class instead?
Add a class.
Straight up.
I think video do have a width. Okay, it has a width attribute,
Yeah,
but
just
I
like
think it
image.
uses pixels. I think it uses pixels. I don't think we can use view width with it. Viewport width. Okay, let's just add a class. I'm gonna call this header video. Okay. We'll come over to our CSS, and down here we're gonna say dot header. Was it dash video? I believe. Okay, we're gonna give it a width of what? Should I go with 500 pixels? Let's just go with 10 pixels and see if that works. Oof. Okay, so that works. We have 10 pixels. So what should I use instead now? Instead of 10 pixels, what should I use to get the video?
100%.
Okay, somebody's saying 100%. Okay, so are we okay with this? In as much as 100% works, I kind of, in a way, prefer 100 viewport.
100 viewports with.
Okay, look at something. Putting 100 viewport with just cost a slight. We have this slight overflow here. Is there a reason why?
Overflowing.
Yeah, why are we having an overflow for this?
Probably because of the.
I believe I remove all margin.
No, it's probably because of this thing.
Okay, what's that?
What's this thing called by the side? The
I
scroll bar.
Scroll.
Yeah, the
A scroll bar. What scroll bar?
The
Oh, the scroll bar to the
scroll
right.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this affect viewport width?
I think so. Because
Is that the reason why they are
100%
bringing this whole dynamic?
Yeah, viewport width includes that space for the scroll bar, but 100% does not.
Okay. So is it possible for us to use one of those new units? I think we have some of these new dynamic units. I don't know, does it work?
Yeah,
Does it solve this
I've
issue?
only seen it for height, sure. I've seen
Yeah,
DV8,
it's mostly used
SB8.
for height. But how about do you think it will work? Let's try
Let's try it.
DVW and see if that works. That didn't work. Let's try SVW. Ish still didn't work. Let me DVW HTML.
So they're new viewports in it. Wow. Didn't know this one.
Yeah. They are new ones. I think I believe it's now usable bar. Right? It's actually usable
Usable
for
in Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer. I think all browsers support it. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, probably. Okay, so this is a view. This for view height. Okay, you know what? Let's just try the last one, which is L. And if that doesn't work, we just go back to 100%. This is it, and it still didn't work. So we'll have to stick with 100%. Okay. Okay, I want to test something. This I want to test. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to comment out the header. If I comment out the header, okay, we still have this. I want to remove this scroll bar. Okay, let's set the height. Let's set the height. Let's keep this at 100 view width. I want to also set the height to 100 VH, right? We together on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it at 100 VH, but my main problem is still not happening.
Can you inspect what's going on?
No, wait, hold on first. Look at the height. The height was set to 100 VW, but somehow it's not actually taking the full width. Can you see that? Yeah.
Probably because of the aspect ratio of the
Yeah.
original image. It's
But
probably preserving that aspect ratio.
but shouldn't we setting the width actually forcefully overwrite the aspect ratio? Don't you think so? Setting the width should actually override aspect ratio, should it not?
Well,
Okay,
it should, but
let me see
it's
something.
like
Okay, let's change this back to 100 and let's add the board. Okay, let's add an outline to see. Not even see my outline. Should I make this 10? Not even seeing the outline. Okay. What's going on here? This is actually overflowing from its container.
if your width is in pixel, it should like okay. It should
okay, so for border,
Should give the section a width.
Does it have an object fit property?
It said what?
Object fit property. Like, I know image has object fit property, but does video have it?
Does video have? Probably not. No, let's search video object fit. Let's see if that's. Do we have object fit? Okay, actually works for both image or video. Okay. So if we have object fit fill, it stretches like this. Okay. Well, instead of just adding that, since the percentage worked, can leave it at the percentage. Let's see. Okay. Now adding this VH to it is making the percentage to not even work. Okay. So it seems we have to use that object property because the video actually have to be like 100 VH, judging from this, right? So this is 100 VH. The video actually has to be like 100 VH. So this is non-negotiable. So we have to keep that. Now let's do whatever we can to make the width fit. So let's leave the 100% and let's also try object fit fill. I'll try cover next. Ish, this kind of looks weird. Does it not? Let's try cover. Let me remove this. Let me remove this border just to be sure it's not adding whatever. Okay, this looks better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
then maybe
okay.
Object position center something.
Ish, I'm coming. Somebody wants me to try contain. Okay, so this is actually what we're facing earlier without adding the object fit. So this is contain. This is like basically the full. This is actually the correct width of.
I think that's the default property.
Yes, the correct width of the video. So us using cover and the rest is us stretching it. Okay. I understand 100% working like this, but it's 100 VW that's actually acting strange. That's not sitting well with me. Well, whatever, I shall check that later. Okay, so we now have cover here. Let's save that. Okay, so this works. So we are almost there. There's a small overflow to the bottom, but I don't think that affects the video in any way. So there's no problem with that. Okay, so next thing is if I refresh this, you see that the video starts automatically. So how do we get our video to start automatically? How do I get video to start?
Autoplay property on
All right.
the video.
Is it a property though? I think there's a better name for it, right? What's that name called? When you add something, when you add something, Yeah, okay, that's it. So let's add autoplay to this. So let's come over here. Moment of truth. We save that. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that's nice. Now, let's go back to our code. And now let's bring back that header that I commented out. Let's bring back the header here. Now let's save this and come here. So now we have our header here and we have the video below, which makes sense. That's what we have been doing so far. But if you look at the site over here, this header is actually kind of like on top of the video. So how do we solve that problem? Hold on. Don't shout it out. Mary Samuel, can you unmute your mic? Mary Samuel, are you with us?
I'm not sure.
All right. So oh, I think you have to mute your mic because you're giving back this feedback. I have to call somebody else. Kenneth, how about you? Do you want to give this a go?
Okay. I think I should use position on that position property.
Okay, so I should use position on the video, right? That should work.
No, not as in the
Oh, not on the
header.
video, on the header. Okay. So
Yes.
walk me through this. What should I do? So I think this is the header over here. So I should use position. Okay.
Position relative.
Okay, relative.
Okay.
All right.
Then that's wait. Let me see what's happening there.
This is it here. We want it to kind of like be like this, where the header is kind of like on top of the video instead of being like this. How do we solve this? You say position relative. I think you're on track. But how can we
Yeah.
bring this one?
If,
You said what?
I'm looking at the way how to connect the header because I know the header contains some of those properties.
Yeah, it
And
contains this.
yes. So what I want to do is it will be relative, but the other one should be position or like all these other properties. You should have position fixed.
Absolute. So position fixed. Okay, that's a nice idea. Any other person wants to like probably arrange the idea. Okay, the session part here should have position relative and the header here should have position absolute. Why are you doing that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Second. All right. So I think that's what Kenneth was actually trying to say, but it was making some mistakes. So basically, let's actually come to the header first, and let me put position absolute here. Let's look at this while I do it. Let me change this to position absolute, and I will save this. Look at that. Okay, let's change this color to white now that we are working with this. Color white. Where is that? SVG to white. Okay, so look at them at the top there. Can you see? They're actually like at the top already. Do you see that? Are we together? Where is my
Yes.
image?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that. No problem. It's not just the menu. Look at this. Even here. Look at this. Okay, so everything has spoiled. So there's no problem. We'll get back to that. But anyways, we've solved one problem while creating another problem. And the problem that we've solved is that our position absolute now works. This is on top. But here is the thing. When you use a position absolute, that's to those that don't know, you remove the elements from the flow of the document. So now from the document point of view, before when there was no position absolute like this. Fuck's sake, man. Let's change this to black so you can at least see some things. Okay, so from the document point of view, the first element that we have here is actually this header here, and the second element is this video here. But when you kind of use position absolute, what it does is that it takes this header out of the flow. So in a way, the first element that it kind of sees the video here. That's why you can say the video is already at the top here, not this header anymore. So the header has been removed from the flow and kept like on top of it, like it has been stacked on top of the document instead. So that's why we have this on top and we have this video, taking the full height, unlike starting from the top rather, unlike this time where it wasn't starting from the top. Any question? I'll take that as a no. Okay, so let's change this back to white. Somebody want to say something?
But
Sorry, very quickly.
why not the video being absolute?
Okay.
And then we probably set a Z index.
Okay, I that's still a second approach that will still work. We can set the image the video to absolute, give it the whole height and stuff, and then probably if it blocks this, we can give it a negative Z index so it goes to the back. That's also another way to go about it. So using that way, there's still no problem. Using this way, there's still no problem. Okay.
Maybe I need
Yeah.
to go with.
Okay. Let's do it. So I'm going to remove position absolute from this, and instead I'm going to go target the video. I think I called it header video. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the header video over here, and I'm going to give it a position absolute, and let's save that. So if I come over here, has that been saved? Let's see. Position absolute. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think that's working. So let's go back to this first. Let me remove this. Ish. Oof, I was even thinking the head won't be there, but no problem, sure. So we have position absolute, yeah. But I was actually expecting it to be like I was expecting it to be like on top of things, but let me see. No, hold on, I'm coming. Dot header here, position absolute, yeah. Okay, so you were saying what? Let me hear your idea. On the section, are you sure?
No, section should be relative. Then the other one should be absolute, I think.
Okay, the person was saying that we should add a position absolute to the image and to the video. And if we add a position absolute to the video, we were hoping that the video will come out of the flow, right? So it would probably be like on top of the header, and then we can use Z index to push it backwards. That was what the person was suggesting, if I got that right.
That should happen with the nav, not really with the video.
I'm sorry, you said what?
I said what you want to do to the video, I think we should do it to the nav.
So the nav, are you sure? I'm thinking about the person approach. I don't think that was what the person was talking about. Mm. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we were saying. again, I'm okay. I don't know. Is okay. What you're actually saying? I don't know. To my From my point of view, I don't think it's gonna work. But there's no problem. Let's target this section. So you think about you target this whole section, yeah? Okay. So let's just mess around with it then. So let's go with section, yeah. Let's just put position absolute here, and this is what we get, which I don't think is what we are looking for. You've given up.
Why not do the same thing to the nav instead of the video? Position the nav absolute.
Yeah, that was where we were going. That was where we were going earlier. But when this person brought this suggestion, I was like, okay, let's see his suggestion first. That's what we were doing earlier. Was adding the absolute to
The nav.
yeah, the nav, the not just the nav, the whole header here at the top. But now
Okay.
look at something. But now we're into the like kind of like something a little bit odd. And I think this is the header here. Okay. So if I put position absolute here and I save this, can you see that the header was taken out of the flow and it was kept on top of the video, right?
Yeah.
So logically, it should also go that if I was to put position absolute on the video, it should also be taken out of the flow and kept on top of the header. Don't you think so?
Yes.
Okay. Now, yeah. No, you can use position relative even without adding the section to be relative. But there's a reason we do add relative to the section. We'll talk about that just in a second. But okay, so the problem we are experiencing right now is if I now remove this position absolute here and I keep it over here on the video, we are still getting our header at the top. Where's that
Try,
header? Let's
try,
change
try
it.
adding the Z index
I
first.
think it's
You said it
because
there.
of the cover and the positioning of the video.
Okay,
So
so you're
if the
saying
video
that.
is positioned up,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's the height, the object weight that it
Okay, fine.
affected.
Let's remove all of it. Let's remove all of it and let's see if that's correct. I'll remove all of this and I will save it. We're still having that problem. It's not getting out of the flow. Okay, do you know what? Let's see something. I'm gonna set top to 0. Let's save this. And that actually push it up there where it's supposed to be. My problem is why is top of 0? Top of 0 is supposed to be the default, no? So why is it not
Where
working?
is the position relative? Is the position relative on the nav?
No, there's currently no position relative. I've not added that yet. So since there's no position relative, it is relative to the window, that is to the whole body at this point.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is the top in particular should be set to 0 by default. Don't you think so? Okay, let me see something. Let me come over here to the video. Let me go to the ending here. And let me add just a div here of lorem. Let's save that. Okay. Okay. It has been taken out of the flow from what I've seen because we can't see our div, right? I've added a div here. Can you see that? I added a div here, but we can't see the div because this video is sitting on top of that div. Are we together? But why is it
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
why is it not sitting on top of the header? Why is it
What
sitting on
I'm
top of that
thinking
div?
is
I'm suspecting that.
it's Abi.
I'm suspecting. It's just a guess. What's your idea? What's your suspicion?
No, like I've thought of it, it's not valid.
Okay, let's just comment this and see if that's the case. That's still not the case.
No.
Why is it sitting on one? We have header here, we have video here, and then we have a div here. Okay, let me move this. Let me move this div to the top. Please mute your mic. Let's move. Let's move this div up here and let's see. Okay, so it is solely because they are on top of it. So if they come before it, it doesn't overlap with it. Okay. Yeah, but but we have to. Okay. I think I understand
Oh,
what's
okay.
happening. I
I
think I
think I
understand
get.
what's
Yes.
happening. Okay, you've seen something. You go first. You go first.
Yeah. So when you did that absolute thing to the one at the top, which was the header, you took it out of the flow, and then the one that was right after it came up,
Yeah.
taking up that whole space. So now that you're applying the absolute to the one that is just right below the header, it is not doing the same. It's not like behaving the same way it should. Like when the one at the top it's just like imagine like you have like a stack or something.
Yeah.
So the one at the top is like you can easily just remove that, and then the one that is right before that can just take up that space. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what I'm thinking. So it should rather be like taking stuff like adding the absolutes to the ones that are at the top. You you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
I think I'm looking at it from a point of view. What I'm thinking of is almost the same. I guess I think probably the same, maybe slightly a little bit different. But what I'm thinking is this: it does take it out of the flow of the document. That's one thing, right? So it takes it out of the flow and it basically just keep it like on top of the document. That's my understanding of position absolute, right? We are together so far on that. It takes it out of the document flow and then it just keeps it on top, right? But now, if we were to look at this now, look at this. We have header. So this does not have a position absolute. So this should stay here. Okay. We have a div here. Fine. This should stay here. We now have a video here. So what it does is it removes the video from the flow, but it has removed the video from the flow, but it kept it on top, just like same position, just on top, right? I believe that's what's happening. But for this, for example, now if we were to carry this div down here, so now remember it has removed this video from the flow. So this video is no longer at the flow. It's no longer on the flow anymore. So we now have the div following this header here. But remember, when it removes the video from the flow, it just removes it from the flow and still keeps it, at the same position that it's meant to be, unless we use top to like move things around. So now the div that was supposed to be down here after this video is actually here after this header because there's no video that was separating them. Look at this. For the code here, we have header and we have video separating them before we now have this div here. But now that the video has been removed from the flow of the document, we now have header followed by div. But since this video was removed from the flow of the document and just kept at the same position, the position wasn't moved, but it was just removed from the flow of the document. So without a position absolute, it will still be here. With position absolute, it will still be here. But the difference is that it has been removed from the flow of the document, basically staying on top of things. I don't know if my explanation is actually. Yes, it's at if it's at the back of the video. Yeah, this top here. Yeah, let's do that. So z index of what should I actually use? Is it should positive or negative? 1. Okay. So let's use 1. Nothing is showing.
It's negative.
All right. Let's use negative. It's supposed to be negative. So when you want the lower the number, should I say the backward you get in a way. So can you see the div now? Look at the div here. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Any problems so far? Are we all together? Can we continue? Okay.
Yep.
All right then. So let's go back to the approach that we're using earlier, which is putting position absolute on. Bring this back and let's put position absolute here. Let's save this. Okay, so we have this over here, and let me change this to white. All right, and I can come down here and delete this div. Yeah. All right, so we've solved one problem, and I think we came down with the second problem. And the second problem is that our flex is not working. How do we fix this? Our flex is not working. How do we fix this? Anybody? Anybody?
Have you added the position relative to the session?
To this section, position relative. No, I didn't. Should I add that now?
Check. Just try it. Yeah.
Okay, I think we should give this session its own proper name. I'm gonna see.
Yes.
This. So. Yeah. The main reason why we do add position relative to things is because if we don't add it now, let's say, okay, that was the reason I created a second file. Then should I actually do a second demo, or should I just explain it and let's see if we can get it, or should I kind of like do a demo about what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. All right. So what happens? The main reason why we are using that position relative is this. If you add a position absolute, like right now I'm saying a position absolute. Where is that position absolute? Okay, I added it to the header here, for example. The header here, I gave it a position absolute, and this is where it is, right? Yeah. But let's assume that we had another section down here where my mouse is. Let's say we have another section down here, and inside this section that is down here, I have a header down here in this section. And I said, okay, let's say the header was like, damn this. How do I draw this shit out? Okay, wait. I think I have like, was it a draw? It's okay, paint. Okay, so let's assume that this is our whole web page now, and we have a first. Did I select a brush? Okay, we have a section A here, and over here I have a section B, and finally over here I have a section C. Are we together? This is like a full web page. I have A, B, C, right? So let's say inside this A, B, C, we have different documents. Maybe here is like the header of the C. All of this here is C. All of this down here is C. Are we together? So let's say over here we have the header part of section C, and down here we have like let's say a body, and finally down here I have not a body, rather a main, and over here I have a footer, for example. So now let's say I set position absolute to this footer down here. Are we together? I didn't set a position relative on section C. I only added position absolute to the footer of section C here. If I now give it a top of 0, this footer here will be moved all the way to the up here. This footer down here will be moved all the way to the top here. If I give it a top 0, it will be moved all the way to the top here. But if I now say C, that is section C, should actually have a position relative. When I now give this a top 0, instead of moving to the top here, it rather move to the top of section C here. So it will be it's absolutely moving in relative to section C. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you? Okay, so
Yes, we understand. Yes.
Nice diagram by me, by the way. Okay, so where were we? What problem we're trying to solve next? What are we talking about? Okay, somebody said I should add a position relative to this. So okay, header section should be above header, so I'll keep it here. Okay, so let's add a position relative and see if that solves our problem. So I've added a position relative to the header section, which is this here, but we are still, the position flex is still not working.
Can we do 100% on the header? 100% width on the header.
100% width on the header. Okay, that's nice. So let's come over here and let me give this, let me put a debug here and let me save this. And now look at our problem here. The problem that we're experiencing is not coming from flex. Flex is not our problem. Are we together? The problem right now is this. I'll remove the position absolute here. And you can see that by default, the width of header is the full width here, right? Can you see that? It's the full width here. Look at this, my
Yeah.
red line. This like the outline is the full width. But now when we now add position absolute changes the width from 100% down to something down to just the needed width. Do you get what I'm saying? It shrinks it down.
Main content with.
So one of the ways that we can go about this is changing the width. So somebody said I should make it a width of 100%. And if I add that, can you see that my flex is now working perfectly? Are we together?
Yeah. Why not 100 view with?
Okay, so viewport width. I'm not scared of viewport width. The way it is giving me the way it was giving me sliders everywhere. And look at that, we have a slider. I've experienced this problem before. I can't really remember exactly what it is. Where 100 viewport width start misbehaving.
On your
I did this.
I was going to say that.
That was my first thought, but how did that? So when we say a width of 100, okay, you know what? Let me add that border. So let me see if I can see what's going on. So let me add a border of 1 pixel, solid, red, save. Okay, so we have this, and it is pushing. Okay, I think that was what somebody said about this scroll bar, but probably is this scroll bar that's affecting the width.
Try overflow X
Hidden. That's us just throwing a plaster to
Clipping
the
it.
problem. We're not actually solving the problem, just throwing plaster on it.
True.
Okay, I'll chuck it up to this. I'll probably do some more research on that. But let's go back to our 100%. Okay, so this works. For some reason, is this video stop playing? Let's see, autoplay is here. Okay, what I'm gonna do right now is I will close this and I will come here and I will stop this port and I will restart it to see if look at that. It seems we've run into another issue. Okay. What could the problem be?
But it was playing before now.
Yeah, I think without this position absolute, it was playing, I guess. Let's refresh to see. Oh, even that isn't playing. Did we add anything? Could it be okay? Let's just remove this for now and see. That doesn't do anything. Let me go and add. Okay, I just commented this out. Let's refresh that. Is there a reason it's not playing? Yeah, I have autoplay. Let me remove autoplay, save, then add autoplay back and save. What could be the problem? Okay, let me do something else. Let me come to this download for now and drag this to my asset first. Let's try internally to see if that works. Let me just rename this to vid. Okay, so let's see instead of the src being all of this, let's clean this off, and instead I'll do a /assets vid.mp4. Let's see if that works. It still doesn't work. What happened? Is there my battery is not on battery saver? So why the hell is the video no longer playing? I don't want to be sure that it's not one of these browser power saving whatever. Okay, probably not sure. I think everything is okay here. best performance. Refresh. Why did it stop playing all of a sudden? Did I add anything different to the video?
Can you try adding it, like adding another video on the DOM and see if that one plays instead?
I didn't get that. You want me to do what?
Like create another video tag and add it separately so we can know if it's just that one or all the videos on the DOM are not playing. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I've heard you. I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming. I think, yeah, I just remembered. There's this feature. There's this weird feature. But now I'm thinking, why did it even play in the first place? When there was a time I built something that required a video, and I remember that there's this new feature on I think this is browsers are implementing it or HTML. I don't know who is implementing it, but here is something. They don't want the video. You can't autoplay a video while it is not muted, right? You can't autoplay a video while it is not muted. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that the whole issue, the whole reason for it is maybe when you open something, let's say you open a video on a link on a new tab, for example. You have not gone to the tab yet, you just open it on a new tab. They don't want the video playing, and probably makes for a bad user experience or something. So I believe that, hold on, let me search this. Okay, let me just say video autoplay. Okay, very good. Not working. Not working. Let me just leave it there. Look at it here. So recently, many browsers can only autoplay the videos with sound off. So you need to add muted attributes to the video tag. So for some reason, I don't know why, but ours was playing earlier, right? Without the muted. But yeah, you have to mute the video if you want it to play. Okay. Any problem? Any questions so far? Are we okay? Okay. So let's
You're
go.
good.
Let's go through back our position absolute, and let me drag this down here or something. Okay, so we have. I'm not seeing. I don't know if is that. I've not seen the other icon. I don't know if it's actually there. Maybe it's hidden somewhere here. Wait, is it? Has it stopped playing again? Oh, okay. All right, so we have this. Everything seems to be working. But what I'm just going to do is for this particular header where we added this padding, I'm also going to add a padding right. And I'm going to give it a padding right of 1 rem 2. So we can push this closer a bit, maybe 1.5 rem.
Sorry, I think I lost connection. What did we do that made the nav to come out well like this?
How far back are you? Who wants to explain that for her?
I
Who wants
lost
to try?
connection.
No, there's no problem. Let somebody that understand try. Who wants to go? Nobody.
Yes, yes.
So the reason why the flex was not working is that once you add a position absolute to an element, it it removes the width. The width is no longer 100% like how normal block element behaves. Instead, the width just becomes just the necessary width needed to contain the whole HTML. Yeah. So what we did to solve this problem was, or what somebody suggested we do to solve this problem was to set the width to 100%. like this. So as you can see, the width is now 100%. And with this, Flex now starts working as it should. Are you satisfied?
Oh,
Okay, so earlier I thought that
all
it was
right.
my
Yeah.
network connection that was having an issue, but now I just remember that we forgot to add something. So I don't know. Can you see? Look at the video I've stopped. We forgot to add something. Can you guess what it is we forgot to add to our video? Our video has stopped playing. Let me refresh. While you're thinking, refresh and see what's going on. Okay, so we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. Come on, come to the end, come to the end, come to the end. And
Repeat.
there it is. So what do we do to solve this problem? Somebody said something about repeat. Oh, I should add repeat.
Yes.
Where should I
Add
add
the
the repeat?
video. No. The
Yeah.
HTML.
Okay.
Yes.
So I should add repeat.
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing like repeat here though. There's nothing like repeat. Look at when I was typing repeat, there was nothing like that here. So is there another word for repeat? What's that? Huh? Somebody say continue. All right. Look at that. There's nothing like continue there. So that's not it. Come on, what's that? What's that? What's that stuff? When you want something to go around, what's that word? What's that word? You want something to go around. Very good, a loop. So you add a loop here, and that works. So if you're stuck with this and you don't know how to find something like that, you can just come here and say, maybe you can start with maybe video stops playing after a few seconds, I guess, and then you can just throw in HTML and let's see if we can find a simple solution here. I'm not seeing a simple solution here. Okay, let's see something else. Not that. Okay, so I've not seen anything interesting there. So I can say maybe how to repeat my video in HTML, something like this then. Okay, so you see the loop attribute.
Yeah.
So if you use a particular way to search your problem, it doesn't work, you try and change the wording to see if it can work. So you can see a video that will start over again every time it is finished. So we had a loop to it. All right. So with that, we have most parts working. So let's get to the last part that we work on today. And I don't know. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to some other interesting parts. But there's no problem. Maybe some other time. If you look at this, there's something happening here. I don't know. I just look at as I'm scrolling this. Notice we have this text here. So notice the top of this text and this video here. Now, if we go to the top, this text stop. Do you see that the text has stopped scrolling? But look at only the video is scrolling. Okay, I have no idea how that is done, but it's one interesting project. Okay, so let's look at this circular stuff here. So, any idea how do you think we can implement this circular stuff? Okay, what's time ish past 8? Anybody? While you're thinking, let me just start writing some HTML because I know for sure that we're going to use a HTML. So under section here, I'll create a div. Let me see how to structure this. Okay, so I feel like it's a div. It's a singular div that surrounds everything. Okay, a singular div that surrounds everything. But within that div, we have like maybe a span that says watch reel. Okay. Okay, and then we have like probably a second span that says basic / depth. And then we add that R, but this time it's gonna be at the top. Okay, we'll get back to that. And then we now have 2010 dash infinity. Okay, let me see how to get an infinity symbol. infinity symbol HTML. Okay, so this is a symbol. We have different symbols for it. So let's just pick one. And I'll put that here. Let's save. And okay, this is it. So no, not this. Yeah. Okay, this is it over here. Okay, so we have our symbol here. Okay. And we have that small r. That small r. So let's I think we have that symbol here already. I'm waiting for ideas on how we can implement something like this. Any idea? How the hell am I still doing this? It's all right. That's an idea. So this should be SOP, I believe. Okay. Okay. So we have this here. Okay, so somebody was saying something. Well, okay, you said to get this circular stuff here. Okay, so we come over to that's the watch wheel over here. Okay, I will just call it since this is like our mouse. I'm gonna call it our mouse. So I will just say I'll give it a class of header mouse. Okay, that's the first. And
But
over here,
it's not
yeah,
only inside header now. The mouse
but
is moving around.
it's moving around. But here's the thing: it's moving around only within the header. Look at this.
Oh,
And the moment I switch here, it's back to the
oh,
normal
oh,
mouse.
oh, oh,
And once we
oh.
come down here, I think where is it? Yeah, over here we have a different mouse here.
Oh wow.
So these are all interesting. The mouse goes underneath. How do we solve that? Okay, whatever till we get there. Okay, so over here I'll just give this keep thinking while I type out some stuff. So I don't know, header mouse circle, I guess. And over here I'll just give this one a class of header mouse infinity. All right, so ideas start pouring in. Somebody, okay, let's do this first one. They say I should give the header mouse circle. I'm gonna come over here. So dot header mouse circle. Okay, so I shouldn't add anything like width or anything like that. I should just go straight to border radius. There was something I was supposed to post. Yeah, no problem. No problem, no problem. There's something I was supposed to post in the group earlier. I forgot. It's basically the difference between percentages and using pixels when working with border realms. Because you can do something like, let's say this pixel. This is something that Tailwind do use, I think 999. But it's gonna give you something completely different from 100%. You said 100%. I want to read there's something I read about this online, so I wanted to post something in the group. I just forgot about it. Okay, anyway, let's go to our 50% and let's go see what we've done. No change. You trying to do what? I don't put padding. Oh, so that's the problem. Let's add padding then. Let's go with padding of 2 rem and let's see. It's
If you are we can hide
okay.
property.
I should color what white. Okay, to my eyes though the background color already looks like white, but let's just add white. Maybe something will change. Look at that. Don't actually change.
Sorry, it has to have a height and a width now.
Okay, supposed to have a height and a width. Okay, no problem. That seems like a good
Yes.
idea. So let's just go with a random width of let's say 50 pixels, and let's go with a height of 50 pixels. Let's save that and see. Look at that, no difference. Look at height and width is not working. Why is that?
I think width okay. No.
Okay, you know what? Probably this my class name is wrong. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change the color to red. Let's see if my class name is wrong. Oh, look at that. The red actually works. So my class name is not wrong. Why is it that width, height, you're not getting applied? Look at the HTML.
Okay, what are we? What element is this exactly? Is this the span or the div?
This is it over here, the header mouse circle. This is it over here.
Okay, it's a span. Okay, span cannot take header and what's it called? Height and width. We first have to change the position in with the display.
And
Which
change
one?
the
See the
display.
position of the display.
Inline block.
250. Wow. I can't properly. Okay, let me save this for you. Let me add the debug to save. Okay, hey, look at what I have to show you here. So you said something which was kind of wrong. You said that a span element can take a width and a height. So that's kind of wrong in a way. So now if I set this to 1,000, oh, let me make it 1,000. Is that too much? Okay, let me set this to 550 rather. What? There's something I'm trying to remember. Span doesn't work for something, but I don't think it's the two of them. It's one, and that's what I'm trying to remember right now. Let me remove this to see if there's one of them. I can't remember the correct one. Am I thinking of? Let me go with 50. Let me go with 50. There's an article I read somewhere about one of these properties. Between the width and the height. Was it? Okay, whatever. When I research it, I'll probably post it on the group. Let's continue. Okay, so somebody was saying I should add something. What was that? What's there's something something is not sitting well with me. Let me change this to 10. Something is not sitting well with me. I can't remember exactly what it is. Sorry, I have to talk to somebody real quick. Was it padding? Wait, let me increase this to 10. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I remember what I was thinking now. It's not height and width. I made a mistake there. It's actually on padding. Okay, and the problem then was the should I say the confusion around it then was people usually say that padding don't get applied to span elements. I think was it which of the padding? How do I keep this? See, what I'm trying to explain is this. I don't know how to put it clearly in words right now, but what I'm trying to explain is this. Look at, we're adding a padding to this. Can you see that we have a padding, right?
Yeah.
Naturally, when you add a padding, it's supposed to push down this video element down. Is it not so?
Yes. Yeah.
So with span in particular, you can increase your padding. You can increase your padding, and that's too much. Let me keep it at maybe 10. And look at it. If you increase your padding, it's going to overlap other elements instead of actually pushing down other elements. But I think this is for, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think this is for only the padding top and bottom. I think this is for only the padding top and bottom. Again, I can't really remember exactly the article I read, but I think we set a padding block. Okay, block is top and bottom. Okay, very good. So if we add a padding to the top and the padding will be added. You just won't see it. So if I didn't add this outline, for example, you would think that the padding top and bottom is actually not getting applied. Let's go with maybe 20. Do you see? You probably think it's not getting applied. Do you see that? I'm increasing this. You're not seeing anything. But it's when you add this outline to it that you see that the padding is actually getting applied, but it is not actually pushing the elements down like how a div will push an element down. But if you were to change this to a padding inline, that is padding to the left and right. If I change this to 5, do you see that it's actually pushing this other element here? Look at this. Let me reduce this to 1. This is how it looks for 1. And when I change this to 2, do you see it is pushing the element? It is pushing this other element here, this one. It's actually pushing it. Do you see that? Am I still full? Okay, but if I was to change this to block, it doesn't work the other way around. It doesn't push it. Normally, if this was a div, it's supposed to push the video down so as to give it enough space to draw out this is padding here. But instead of it pushing video down, it is rather overlapping video. Have you seen what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so I read about this somewhere. So that's what I was trying to point out, and I was confusing it with the width and height. So it's supposed to be padding block element or padding to the top and bottom. What? It's this is the DVS in the section here. That is this section. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I should just point that out. So now that we are okay with that, let's continue. Let's clean this. Okay, so back to what we are doing earlier. We did set a width of 30 pixels. Since we are aiming for a circle, I know that the aspect ratio is always going to be 1. So I'll just set this so that to be setting height. Okay, so the width is actually getting applied. Okay, it's not actually getting applied rather. So how do we get the width to show up? How do we get the width to show up? The width is not getting applied. So what do we do to fix this? Any ideas?
Let's use a display of inline block.
Yeah, very good. So that's one way to fix this. By saying a display of inline block. Okay, and with that we get the width getting applied, and probably we have the aspect ratio still getting applied. So let's just work on the font size a bit before we settle down with a width. So I'm going to reduce this font size to 1 rem. That's 1 rem already, so 0.5 rem. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so way smaller than this. So I'm going to go with 0.2 rem. Oh, that's too small. 0.3. Is that okay? I think this is also bolded. So let's throw in the font. Is it weight? I guess.
Wait.
Bold. Yeah. So let's get it bolder. Okay, so it's bolder. So I don't know. Is that the same now? Watch wheel. Don't worry about that one. We're just looking at the font size for now. We'll fix that. We're looking at the font size for now. I think the font size is kind of the same. Okay. All right. Now that that's the same, let's throw in our border radius next. Okay, so we have our border radius there, but for some reason the text is all over the place. It's not centered. Okay, first of all, let's go back to the text here. So we have watch reel over here. I'll just throw in a BR tag. So this is a break tag. It will basically break them instead of them being a straight line to break them. Okay, so now we've broken them. So how do we get it centered? Any idea? Any idea on how we can get it centered?
You can use grid.
Grid. Okay, so what I should use grid on this header mouse circle. Okay, but we've already used display inline block here. So do you think should I vary it to grid? What do you think? We use display inline block here already.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Hmm. Can we do like margin auto?
Margin auto. If we add, let's look at this for example. Let's say I wanted to add a margin left to this. Let's just assume a margin left. If I add a margin left to this, who do you think it's going to affect? The text watch real or the whole circle here?
The whole circle. The whole
Very,
circle.
very good.
Is there something like padding auto? I've never tried that.
I've never tried that. Padding auto. I don't think that works, but you know what? I mean, we're here to learn, but so let's throw it in and see what happens. Padding. Oh, look at that. No recommendation. I doubt it works. Let me see margin auto if we're going to get recommendation. Okay, we get recommendation for margin auto. So I'm guessing padding auto does not work. So look at that. It doesn't work. Any other ideas? Hit me, hit me, hit me.
Can we use a text align center?
Somebody saying a text align. Let's see a text align. A text align of center, right? And now it has been aligned horizontally. Now how do we align it vertically?
Let's use vertical align center.
Okay, somebody saying a vertical align center. Does that work with text? Let's see. Vertical align center. Is it center or middle? I think it's middle. Yeah, it's middle. And look at that, it's not working. But you know what? Let's see throw in center. They just to be sure we've tested everything. Still not working.
Why not display flex and justify content center and item center?
Okay, so should I override this? Should I override this? We already have a display inline block here. Should I just change it to flex and see if that works? All right then. So I have flex over here, and he's saying
You
I
can make it
should.
flex.
Okay, I should do what?
You can make it inline flex.
Wait, hold on. I've done display flex. What
You can
should I
make
do
it
next?
inline flex, inline flex.
Okay, he said inline flex.
Yeah.
Inline flex. Okay.
Yeah, then you can try other things.
Other
But
things
yeah,
like
but
what?
only thing inline flex can also like help out.
I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing you. You said I should do what?
No, I'm just saying that inline flex can like you want to use flex now. I know when you use flex, it takes over like
Okay,
a
okay.
week. Yeah, so inline flex
Yeah.
can help with that. Yeah.
Okay, there's no problem. So what else can I do now? Any other person who wants to help out? What can I do next?
Align item center.
Okay, align items. What should I? Okay, center, I assume, and justify content center. Before I save this, do you think this is gonna work? What do you think? Before I save this? Huh? It's gonna work.
I pray it works.
Okay, let's save it and see. So I save. So we cool.
Yes. Is there anything like inline grid?
Yeah, there's an inline grid.
Okay, can we try that?
Wait, hold on. Inline grid. I think there's no support for this here too. Okay, that actually works, but okay, the R is not even supposed to be there in the first place. Let me just go and remove that R. Kept it at the wrong place. So it's supposed to be with the basic depth over here. Okay, so over here outside. Okay, so should I add anything to the inline grid? Or are we okay like this? We okay?
I think with grid, just plain grid, when you use, is it place item center or place content center? Everything just aligns to the center.
So do you want me to clean this out?
Like just comment it out so we can try
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see
place
if
item
that
center.
actually works.
All right then. Place what? What are we going with? Place items or content? Okay. Place items center. Save, and that works. Let me see something. Place content center. Yeah, it does the same thing. Okay. I think they all have this slight difference between them. They both do the same thing. Okay, so let's go with this and let's clean all of this out. There's something I just remembered now. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the text. My mouse can't actually show you the text. But if you look at this, the real and the watch, like watch seems to be like above, then real seems to be like under. This is kind of like justified in a way, like they are centered in a way. Look at our real over here. Do you see that this real is like starting at the beginning of the W over here, whereas the R over here is kind of like centered in the like the real is kind of like centered. Do you get what I'm trying to say? All right. Text align, justify. You know what?
This
Let's
alignment works. Come on.
no come on. Let's check it out. It might work. It didn't, but no problem.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. Text align center. Just what we wanted. Yeah, just what we wanted. Okay, so it looks like we are done with the circle for now. I mean, the coloring, I would like they are a little bit different there, but no problem. We'll get back to that. So I was thinking of even breaking that's the basic depth 2010, but since it is okay, it's still gonna work even if I break it. So I'll come over here and I'll add a break here.
Sorry,
Okay, so
Rajah.
I'll do a pause here and what was that?
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I am.
Yeah, I can hear
So
you.
please, after this picture, can we like move to next week to continue? If you're not tired.
Huh?
As after you finish the remarks, we'll just continue next week.
Okay,
Or we
yeah,
can make it tomorrow
okay, yeah,
if
yes, it
they are
is.
still
Yes, it is. If you're feeling kind of tired already, probably we should stop here and we should like stop with the feature because completing this feature it requires JavaScript. Right? Okay, maybe we should just finish with only the CSS, but is that what you're saying?
Let's finish this one now.
Just the CSS. We shouldn't touch the JavaScript part of it, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see how it's moving on its own? This is JavaScript, not HTML or CSS. This is JavaScript. So if you guys are getting kind of tired now, I think getting to the JavaScript aspect will be kind of head splitting, I guess. So let's just finish with the CSS and then we'll call it a day, no problem.
Okay.
So let's just finish with the basic depth part. This part here, basic depth. So what I'm gonna do is over here, the font size is the same. So let's copy this. Come over here. That's header mouse infinity. So over here, dot header mouse. I'm thinking of something else. We added a width here to read, right? Which is 40 pixels. I'm thinking instead of actually adding a width to read in particular, how about we add the width to this header mouse here? The header mouse is currently taking the full width here. So instead, how about we give it the 30 pixels width we give the 30 pixel width to the header mouse, and then the rest can take 100% width. Does that make sense? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna just come over here, copy. What's that? The basic depth. We're gonna fix that. That's no problem whatsoever. We'll fix that. I was thinking of putting this here, header mouse, adding a dot, and then at the ending here, we'll give it a width of 30 pixels, save, yeah, so it stays like this. And over here, we no longer have to give this a width of 40 pixels, right? Okay, let's go with 40 pixels here. Okay, let's give this a width instead of 100%. Okay, that's it. So we're just setting the width one place here to affect both the top and the bottom here. But let me draw an outline to see if it's actually 40. Okay, the basic depth is overflowing, but there's no problem. We are going to fix that. So I'll also copy the font size from this. and I'll paste it here. So it will affect all of it. Okay, that's looking nice already. Is it bolded? Yeah, it's bolded. So I'll also copy bold. There's that bold. Oh, can you imagine? Okay, so I'll also copy this and keep here. So it will affect both of them. Is that okay? I made a mistake here. Okay, yeah, they're now both bolded. They're both bolded. Okay. Where's I think I should also remove this text align. Let's keep it here. Very good. Also aligned. Yeah. So we I think we have even done with that already, right? We are done with it now, is it not? Should I change anything? This looks done. Hello. This looks done, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So what's next is to remove these ugly red colors. So let's just quickly look at, okay, there's nothing like any border. This has a color of white. This has a color of black. This has a background color of white. Okay. The circle here has a background color of white. Here's a question for you. If I remove this background color here, what color do you think is also going to get? Do you think it's still going to get the background color of white if I move this color here?
Yes.
This background color. You think so?
To get what?
No, there was no background
No.
color. I've removed it, but it's showing white. But this white you're seeing is an illusion. But don't worry, we'll get to that later. Let me change the color here to black. That white you're seeing is an illusion, but we'll get to that later. I'll change this one. The color for this was white. Okay, save. Okay, so everything is looking nice. So now let me go remove my whole outline. We don't need any outline. Okay, so this is it over here. So the last thing we do before we call it a day is to kind of like keep it position centered here. So what do I do to keep it position centered? Ideas. Somebody hits me. Give me an idea. I want to keep it centered like this. Just say at the center with CSS. Let's not go into JavaScript yet. So any ideas? Just hit me with something. Guys, how do I keep this centered? First of all, before we even continue, do you notice that it is actually out of the flow? Have you noticed that it's out of the flow? So what was that thing we do first?
Position absolute.
Very good, magnificent. So over here, I put position absolute. I save that. This is it over here. Hey, look at the illusion I was telling you about. Do you see that the background color is not actually white? Have you seen that? Look at it over here. The background color is not white.
Yes.
So by default, the background color is going to be transparent, not white. So you have to come here and actually set the background color to white. And now we have that white. So there's a whole clash with Z index, but let's not worry about that for now. Let's just see how do I center it like this, and let's call it a day. That's it, just to center it. I don't care. I don't care. Tell me anything you want. I don't care. Anything you tell me, I'll do it.
Top 50%, left 50%, translate.
I should do what?
Transform minus 50, minus 50.
I should do top minus 50. Okay. Is it 50%
No, top
or just 50?
50%.
Okay, top 50%. Okay.
Left
What else?
50%.
All right, left 50%. Okay.
Then transform, translate.
Okay. Now nobody's asking him why he chose to use transform. So I'll assume everybody know why we are writing transform translate. Huh?
Minus 50%, minus 50%.
Okay, minus 50%. Do you mind? Should there's a comma, right? It's a comma, right? It's not just space. Like it's a comma. Okay. 50%. Okay, please, do you mind explaining to her why? Okay, so we have this now. Look at this. This already looking very, very close to this. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. 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 Okay, sorry, continue with your explanation.
I don't really understand, but like if you are using just the top and left, the elements will be like shifted a bit from the center. So I think due to the elements width, so we have to like adjust it back, like move it back to the. I don't really get the exact explanation. You can just go ahead with it.
Okay, so who else knows why we added that transform? So you have like, I'm gonna wait 10 seconds, and if nobody answer, then I'll probably have to explain it myself. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. What's that thing called? Draw. So I'm gonna use something somebody in coders then actually taught me, because even me, I know, I kind of know why it is used, but I don't really understand why it is used. So the Shinwe explained it to me using this method, and that's what I'm about to show you now. So let's assume that this is our web page, right? Are we together? This is our web page. So I'm going to draw lines here. So let's say let's just assume that this is the middle of the page. So I'll draw my very nice straight line. I think I can get a straight line here. Thanks. Oh, okay. Let me delete this nonsense I drew. Let me draw this. So let's just assume that here is the middle, and we have a straight line like this. Are we together?
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
All right. So let's say this is our web page, and let's say this is the middle line, and this is also the middle line. So this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. Are we together?
Yes.
Now let's go and
Yes.
see. Let's go and see what we just finished doing. Okay. Let's say we have a box. Let me draw a small box here. So let's say I have a box like this. Very good. Okay. Very good. So we have a box like this, which is what we had earlier. I don't know if you remember. We had it at the top left here, right? So we now add the first property, top 50%. That was the property we added. So over here, I added top 50%, which means push it from the top 50, basically push it down to the 50% level. So this is the middle. 50% is like the middle of the web page. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
So it will push it 50% like this. So this is where our box is. Now we now added a second property here. Push it left 50%. So it's now push. Oh damn it! How do I move? What the hell? What's this nonsense? For fuck's sake! I can't move my box again. What did I do? Let me see if I can unclick it or something. Amazing. I can't move my box again. Okay, I think it is. I'm coming. I'm really terrible with this. Okay, I think it's select. Why is this not working now? It was just working just right now. Okay, let me select. Okay, yeah. Oh, it has selected all. I just want to select this guy. Wow. Okay, you know what? Since I don't have time for this, so I'll just draw a second box instead. So you understand this part, right? That the team moved 50% from the top down here, right?
Yes.
All right. So now let's see the second one. The second one is now moving it 50% to the left. So this is where it is right now. Are we together?
Yeah.
But look at it. This is not the center. It is although I agree with what we have done. Top 50%. This is it. Left 50%. It is not really at the center. This is the center region here. Can you see that? So it's a little bit pushed towards the bottom right. Can you see that? It's not really at the center. Are we together?
Yeah.
You have to understand this concept before I move on. Are we together, or should I explain one more time?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yes,
are
we are
together.
together.
Okay, very good. So it's not exactly at the center. When you use this, it's not exactly at the center. So what we now do is we now use translate this and this. So if I remember correct, yeah, okay, yeah, it's actually correct. So this is actually the x-axis and this is the y-axis. Let me see if it's shown here. Okay, it's not shown there, but you can. Okay, we don't have time. But if you go to MDN, you're gonna see that this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So now when I say I wanted to translate it 50%. Minus 50% to the x-axis and minus 50% to the y-axis. Let's see what that means. Shit, will I be able to? Okay, I can still. So from here now, when we say transform, translate 50%, it's talking about I want you to push this to the left. That's what negative, right? As you've seen from positive. If it is positive, like when we gave left here 50%, it means we are pushing it from the left to the right. Are we together? So definitely negative will means we'll be kind of pushing it from the right back to the left. And I can select for, oh my god, what the hell is this now? Okay, let me just draw a new box again. Okay, so this is it here. So now when we say translate means you're pushing it about. When you're using percentages, your translation basically mean let me push this box about. That's what translate is pushing this box about. But now the percentages now mean I want you to push it, but the percentage will be the percentage of the body. So now it now say let me draw another line. Now let's assume that let's draw the middle of this box. Let's say this is the middle of this box, for example, right? So the first one I say I can't for what the hell? Oh my god, what's this suffering now? Why can't I select this again? Select is that no, it's not working. Oh, god. Okay, I will just explain this anyhow. I'm tired at this point. I'll just explain anyhow, and let's hope to God that we get it. Okay, so we know our first problem. The box is here. So now when we now say translate based on percentages, it's like I want you to move it back towards the left, 50% of the body. So let's assume that the 50% of the body is here. That's what this first 50% is. This first one, move it backwards towards the left, but 50%. Fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Once I leave the painting, I won't be able to select it again for some weird
But
reason.
we're actually
Okay.
getting it like that too. We are getting it the way you're explaining it.
When I'm explaining something, I do feel like there are some people that I try to actually say they don't understand. So that's why I'm kind of like always beating it. But you know what? Let's all assume we all understand. So we'll move it back 50% like this. Do you see? It's now centered vertically. Is it vertically? No, horizontally. It is now centered, right? And now the second minus 50% means push it back to the top. But 50% of the box. So you now push it again like this. And now we now have a box that is truly centered. Do you see it is now truly centered here? Unlike the previous one that was pushed to the bottom right, this one is now actually centered. Do you get?
Yes.
So that's the reason why after using your top and your left, we still use transform to push this back. Capiche? Okay. So some things we've learned today. We've learned transform at least. We've learned some stuff about position absolute. We learned about object fit cover for video. Also, we learned about HTML entities. So we're gonna. This is already 8:40, almost 9 o'clock. Even my battery is dead. We're gonna call it a day here, and probably next class we'll probably work on the JavaScript feature where our mouse is visible when we are at the header part here, but the moment we come down here, our mouse become invincible, and this whole circle becomes our actual mouse. So that's the first thing we're going to work on when we come back. Secondly, what we'll work on is the moment the mouse gets to the header, look at that. This watch wheel runs back to the center. So look at it. It's following my mouse, and the moment I get to the header, it runs back to the center. We'll fix that. And thirdly, when we are scrolling, we want the mouse to disappear underneath. Look at it, goes underneath before finally going back to the top. So we'll probably have to use some Z index there, I guess. We give it a negative. We give it a negative Z. Okay, no, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so anyways, this is where we call it a day. So thank you for coming. Do you have any question? I don't know. I've closed some stuff. Do you have any question before I end everything? Okay, so I think we're all okay. I'll stop sharing my screen.
So what you call it a day? Hi guys. I think most of you guys are new to this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd just like to hear some people. How was it for you? Did you learn